Hey, oozes and bunnies. This is a preview of the most recent party planning, an extra podcast that the Join the Party crew makes for our Patreon. If you want to listen to the whole thing, go to patreon.com/jointhepartypod. Check out this preview.
Hi, Julia.
Hey, Amanda, what's up?
I heard that we had such a good time in our last party planning that we're going to do it one more again.
It's like having a party and then being like, all right, this was so dope. Let's reschedule this for next month. And then you just do it all over again. You're like, this is great. We should make this a recurring thing. Unfortunately, we only have 12 tarot cards left, so
Sure.
we can't make it a recurring thing. But we can at least finish out the major arcana. And I think that's a real win.
Obsessed. How did you like folks' reactions to the first time around?
I was so glad people liked it. I feel very strongly that our listeners and our patrons in particular are people who like play D&D very similar to us, which is why they like Join the Party so much. And so knowing that like this thing that is so quintessentially D&D, it like adapting it into something that is more likely to be used at people's tables is a really nice like it certainly like validates me. And that's all that matters to me.
Yeah. I listen. Validation is a human endeavor that we are all allowed to want.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I was so glad that people are excited to use it in their home campaigns. I know there are several groups, parties of D&D players who met in the Discord and may or may not, surprise each other with this kind of plot maneuvering. So stoked, and I can't wait to turn my suddenly conflict-loving brain to the rest of the major arcana.
Yeah, I'm really excited. We got 12 more cards left to do, which means we are a little under halfway, because if I remember correctly, there's 22 cards in the major arcana, but I think we can breeze right through these and have a great time and come up with some great ideas. But first, Amanda, I feel like we gotta check in with each other. How you doing? How are things? Things are good?
Oh, Julia, things are a lot.
Mm-hmm.
No, a lot going on. Thinking about, what I want to do next year. This time of year always makes me feel, very pressured, to, accomplish, and to accomplish next year as well in a way that's both good and bad. Like I like feeling useful. I like feeling, like I have things to look forward to. And as much as I crave rest, whenever I'm resting, I'm like, I want it to be like accomplishment one rest. And so I know that's not, 1,000% what I should be aiming for. And also this time of year, like my therapist is away, my yoga studio is closed, my synagogue is closed. And so like all the things I normally do to make myself feel like me, I have to get a little more creative. And so it's, neither good nor bad, but I am very excited to, as of the day of recording 2 days from now, hang out with you and exchange some presents and have some brunch. It's going to be great.
I got you guys your gifts. I'm so excited.
Oh,
I feel
thanks.
like you're going to like them a lot. I'm having it's going to be a weird recording, everyone. I'm a little punch drunk because it's right before the holidays and it's the last garbage pickup before the holidays. We were like, we have to make sure we tip the garbage man, which is a thing. I don't know if that's like a universal thing, but that's a thing that like we do on Long Island, certainly. And our garbage men are great. So like we always give them a nice, generous tip. But
and Jake used to work sanitation, so he knows the feeling.
Yes, and his dad was a sanitation guy as well, so like it's a whole thing. But I wasn't sure when they were gonna get here. I didn't sleep super great last night, so I set my alarm for like 7 o'clock. I'm like, God, I hope that's early enough. We'll see. And my alarm went off, and I like laid there for probably 30 seconds. Just being like, okay, we can wake up, we can do this, and then like in the distance, like hearing a Tyrannosaurus Rex approach in Jurassic Park, I hear
You hear it coming.
of a garbage truck coming, and I'm like, and like threw on my robe, threw on sneakers, and like ran outside. And the garbage man looked at me like I was insane. They were like,
Because I mean,
whoa,
you're not gonna tape an envelope full of cash to your garbage can. Like
Exactly.
you want to give it to them.
Exactly. You want to hand it to them to make sure that they get it first
Yeah.
off. And these guys are like all bundled up. I am like solely in just a robe and
Tough.
sneakers. And I saw one of the guys look at the other one and like first off didn't have time to brush my hair, so it's like all over the place. And then the one guy goes, "You have to take that from her." And like I'm like, I'm a normal person. I swear. I just woke up and I wanted. Otherwise, you wouldn't get it for the holiday. Like I want to make sure you guys have it for the holidays. And then they were very appreciative, but I did look like a wild person, and then I did not fall back asleep, and then I drank 3 cups of coffee. So
Oh, sure. I must admit, though, the winter is fun because I can just put my coat on and appear to be put together, even if I am wearing like full pajamas underneath, which I appreciate.
You know what the thing is, Amanda? Would have had to have gone into the closet and it would have taken too long. So I just grabbed that robe and threw it on and hoped for the
fair.
best. So
That's fair.
I looked like every middle-aged suburban mom in every movie. So that was cool.
That's fun.
That was cool.
Sometimes we become the future, and I think that is kind of cool.
We are the future, baby. We are.
And Julia, the first D12 I've rolled today is a 4.
Okay. All right. So 1.
Or will you reset the premise real quick? So we are going through tarot cards. If you haven't watched the first version of this, go ahead back and watch it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so what we're doing is we are revising the deck of many things, which is very much based on the traditional tarot with a lot of differences because D&D is D&D and Wizards of the Coast is Wizards of the Coast. And a lot of the deck of many things tends to skew towards very traditional D&D, I would say, like experience points and really paying attention to gold and cost of things and stuff like that. So what we wanted to do is focus on a deck of many things that is a little bit more focused on role-playing and consequences and the type of D&D that we enjoy playing here on Join the Party. So what we are doing, we have done about half the deck at this point. We are doing the other half of the deck today, and we're gonna rock and roll it right now. So Amanda, you rolled a 4, and you have started with the Lovers.
Ooh.
The sun too bright against my card.
Love those butts.
Love those butts.
As usual, love your deck.
Yes, thank you. This again is the Modern Witch deck by, what was the name of the artist who did this? Oh,
A number of patrons also shared their favorite decks in Discord, which is super cool.
Yes.
So go ahead and
I
look
love
for this.
that. But yeah, this is by Lisa Sturl, and they are a fantastic artist, and like all of the cards are really cool. But yeah, Amanda, the Lovers. Let me pull up the Lovers real quick so that you can tarot. So this is a card that is about being at a crossroads, choices, commitment, falling in love, of course, and also partnerships.
Okay, first thought,
Always the best thought.
most severe thought. Do you have to pick an NPC you've met in your campaign so far to become a permanent member of your party?
I think that's really cool.
Is that too much?
No, I kind of like that. It also gives the DM an opportunity, if they don't already have like the DMPC, to really like get a chance to be like, okay, well, this is now a character who is maybe it is depends on how open your players are, but maybe this is a character who is like an NPC that you've met or a random NPC that you've met already falls in love with your character, which is funny and has consequences. And like if your table is that kind of table that you feel like that would be fun and wouldn't like cross any boundaries, I think that's a really interesting way to do it. It also can be like either comedic or fun and dramatic in whatever way that you would like, I suppose.
Yeah,
But-
maybe it's an NPC you've met so far develops a unbreakable allegiance to your character. And so you can choose if that's romantic, if that's platonic, if that's based in some kind of like shared, backstory, or, pantheon, or maybe, based on past events. This could be a fun way for the DM to kind of like tie back in a thread or advance a plot that y'all have been avoiding and that they were planning on working on. But I think that creating connection, like it's not a bad thing, right? Like I don't want this to be a punishment for the player, but I do think it's a really interesting sort of like boon with teeth, or like a, you know, suddenly you have to like account for this person, and maybe you're all murder, you know, hobbits, and you want to, you know, maybe you don't care that much about like human connection in the way that we do at Join the Party. But, you know, if right now we said, I think it's actually kind of a lot like Campaign 3, where, you know, we are, for the right NPCs, like adding them to the crew, and that changes the calculation that people to think about and be worried about, but also folks who can fight on our behalf. So I think it's got both kind of pros, but also, you know, responsibilities to think about.
Yeah, I also think if you want to get into mechanics-based stuff, there is, I think, rules in D&D about, like, I'm pretty sure there is a cleric thing that you can marry people and then they get a boon when, like, those two characters are, like, near each other and in combat. Hold on, I think it's
like how in Stardew Valley your spouse can water the dog and cat bowls.
There you go. Hold on. I think it's commitment, marriage, D&D.
Oh my God, do I even want to know about the mechanical consequences of marriage in Wizards of the Coast's Dungeons and Dragons?
Do you though?
That's what we're here for.
Not arranged marriage. That's not it. I'll find this later. But people, there definitely is some sort of mechanic that is part of like a cleric class or something like that, where you can marry a character, and then you guys get like I don't know, like +5 temporary HP when you're within like 30 feet of that character or something like that. It's wild.
Just like marriage.
I definitely get plus HP when I'm around Jake.
Oh yeah. I was sick when Eric was away a few months ago, and I was like, I'm simply gonna die. Like I don't know.
I don't know how I did this before. And now I'm screwed. All right, Amanda, give me another roll of that D12.
That would be a 2.
Okay, that is the Empress. Oop.
That was great. My favorite part was the accent work. If you like that, you gotta hear the rest of party planning by joining the Patreon at patreon.com/jointhepartypod.